and welcome to Confessions of a Refashionista. Happy Pride Month! I'm Refashionista Sherry, and I put the B in LGBTQ+. So because it is finally Pride Month once again, I thought I would share some of my fantabulous pride makes from the past so you can sort through your closet, sort through your stash, and upcycle your own absolutely groove-tastic fashions to share your pride, share your allyship, and just generally be an awesome, eco-friendly human. So yeah, let's get mating!
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.
So first, let's talk about this groovy little cropped t-shirt that I literally made this morning. I have had this kind of rainbow unicorn patch design in my stash forever. I actually kind of stole it, cut it out from one of my kiddos' outgrown t-shirts, and then all I did was stitch it on to this t-shirt and add some lace around the outside, and then of course just chopped it into a cropped length. Super duper easy and super duper cute, and it looks great with my pink suit. Now, this one is definitely for those of you who maybe don't sew super well or don't sew at all. All you need is a rainbow patterned blouse or top and a rainbow patch. And you know what? Just iron it on. Super simple, super easy. This I actually took a little bit of extra time and added a little heart button here because it was missing a button there. But I mean, it's adorable, it's rainbow, it's awesome. Next up, yet another rainbowy blouse update here. And this is just your really basic embroidery embellishment. Now, I am not at all an embroidery queen. This is the very, very simple split stitch. It is my favorite because it is so simple and it makes such nice letters. And I do have really simple sewing tutorials in my Sewing Basics ebook, so I will chuck the link down below for you if you want to get started with some hand stitching and embroidery and sewing on buttons. But again, I mean, how adorable. Just a rainbow blouse with a little bit of embroidery detail. And you can also transform a pair of boring jeans with some dye. And then, I mean, again, just add a little patch on it. It is so, so simple. And I shall put all of my top dye tips in a link somewhere around down above for you guys as well. Moving right along, here is another patched one. Okay, patches are one of the easiest ways to embellish and update a garment, sincerely, because you can just iron them on. And I mean, this is so adorable. It was very, very plain, but still adorable with these cute little bell sleeves here. And yeah, just the addition of the rainbow patches in this wonderful positioning, I think, really transforms this from a drab to fab. Now, who among us doesn't have a plain sweatshirt or a plain hoodie in our stash, and maybe more than a few scraps that we could put together and make, ta-da, a adorable rainbow scrappy flag hoodie? Now, all of these tutorials, I shall put the links down below for you guys so you can head on over and see exactly just how easy it is to make these things. And yeah, all it takes is a bit of refashionista imagination and seriously, very, very little sewing know-how. And if you have a plain denim jacket, grab my top bleaching tips and techniques, plus then, da-damn, add a wonderful rainbow flag scrappy patch to the back. And with this one, I actually went all the way around it as well with some vintage trim, and it just really finishes it off. And I mean, I love this. It is so cool. If you really, truly don't want to sew a stitch whatsoever, grab a bunch of pom-poms from your local dollar store or discount shop and simply glue them to the lapels of a dull and dreary blazer in your closet. Now, this I actually made more than a few years ago, and when I did first make it, I actually started stitching on the pom-poms, and I was like, yeah, no, this is not happening. So I grabbed some fabric glue from my local Euro shop. So this is not the greatest quality stuff in the world, and yeah, it is still going strong. I have washed it. I do hand wash it and hang it up to dry, but it is lovely, magnificent, and rainbow pom-poms! And another way to embellish and improve and zhuzh up a rather plain retro blazer is, again, patches. Of course, it's always patches, right? Like, but I mean, come on. Love and a rainbow unicorn, and it just really makes this boring blouse a lot more interesting. Plus, I did remove the shoulder pads, and again, I shall put the tutorial for this one around as well. Now, while this one isn't necessarily super pride-centric, it is still awesome, so I just needed to share it. And it is, of course, from one of my thrifty celeb copycat looks, and my version of Olivia Wilde's absolutely awesome feminist skirt. I actually transformed a pair of sheer culottes here, and all I did was take a silver fabric pen and literally spend more than a few hours writing feminist all around them. Now, if you're wondering, isn't there something even easier than that? Yes, of course there is, and it does of course involve patches. Adding rainbow patches to the heels of your boots is super duper simple. All you need is all-purpose glue. And again, I will put the tutorial for this one, even though it is very, very simple. And yeah. These I've had for, again, more than a few years. They were super duper comfortable thrifted boots, but quite plain, and yet they're not looking so great because these are like my everyday boots that I wear all the time, and I think it is definitely time to maybe redo these, give them a bit of an update. But again, what a nifty little super simple idea. And last but certainly never least, why not make yourself a awesome glittery sparkly jumpsuit? These are all items that I actually scored at a swap, and these pants, I mean, they were okay, but they were attached to a weird top. So yeah, I made a step-by-step tutorial on how I created this. This top part is actually a skirt that fit me much better around the top half than the bottom half. So yeah, I now have a gorgeous glittery rainbow jumpsuit. So which one of these groovy little makes is your favorite? Which ones do you think you're going to try making? Do let me know in a comment below. And as always, head on over to refashionistasherry.com. Absolutely everything you need to get started with your affordable, sustainable lifestyle is over there. Tips, tricks, refashionista tutorials, all of my fab celeb copycat looks as well. And yeah, have a wonderful and a safe Pride. What else can I say? Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much. And yeah, happy Pride. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch ya on the zigzag.